Hey there, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Um, and that's it. um, I am exhausted right now. We actually just got back from vacation today, and I'm very tired, but ended up having to do some evening stuff here. Like instantly back to reality, back to parenting when I got home. So I'm just now winding down. It's a little after 10 o'clock. But I wanted to hop on before it's all the way back and show you guys a little bit of what I did or what I got accomplished on my trip to Philly. And also show you a little bit of yarn that I bought. Yeah, so I talked myself out of taking a lot more yarn than I did on vacation. I had originally packed my my backpack. Is it there? Oh, you can't see it. My carry-on, which I usually have, it's a backpack with like 2 main projects plus some little smaller ones. And then I was like, I'm not gonna have time to do all this. Like, let me just take a couple. I took 1 knit and 1 crochet project. The knit project, which I finished, well, technically, yeah, we'll say. Okay, the knit project is my husband's double knit beanie, which I would have finished on the plane back this morning, if not for 2 things. One, I like you see it's the exact same beanie as I did the last time. So it has the same like 4 corner, you can't really see it that well, decrease. This is the side I decreased on. And on one of the corners, at some point I looked down and I realized like that, like let's say this is the start of it. 1, 2, 3. I think actually this is the one. Like, so it went up, it went here, and then it like jumped. Like the little seam, like jumped a few stitches. So I know exactly what happened. At one point I was like, I think when we were waiting for the Uber from the airport or at some point, I'm like knitting, and then I get to the end and I went to pull, because I do a magic loop. I went to pull the needle like out, all the way out of the stitches, like onto the cable. And I accidentally pulled a bunch of the stitches out. So I picked them back up hurriedly, and then I kept going. And I think where I just miscounted like where I needed to like continue the seam, or I just wasn't paying attention because I was waiting on Uber and all that. So we were at the airport waiting on our plane because we got there really early, much earlier than we intended. And I'm knitting away, and I looked down and I realized that there's this little jump where the seam is. And so I had to tink back probably like 4 rows to fix it. And so right when I got back to the point where I made the mistake and like finished the row, or fixed it, that's like right when it was time to go board the plane. So we got on the plane, blah blah blah, got all situated, and then I start knitting again, and all of a sudden I am exhausted. Like I couldn't keep my head up. And then it's crazy because we got there Thursday night, or Thursday afternoon. The whole time we were there, I could not sleep. Like I was up half the night. I'm like waking up every hour. I'm like laying there for no reason. I'm not worried about things. I don't know what it is. And I'm like laying there, like trying not to wake my husband up, but then so bored that I'm like on my phone, like kind of trying to hide under the covers and not like have the thing too bright. And it was just, I have no idea. I couldn't sleep the whole time I was there. As soon as we got on a plane to come home, I'm just like, and then, I couldn't get a comfortable position. Finally, like my husband, because I didn't even want to drink or anything, he got a drink and he had his like little tray table up, and I just like leaned over to the side on his tray table. And I got like a good, like, it wasn't long. The flight is only 2 hours. Really like an hour, hour 45 minutes, because I don't know, it was a very short flight from Philly to Atlanta. So my little power nap was only like probably 20 minutes. I don't even know. But it was exactly what I needed. I got up, I was ready to go. And by the time we got to the gate, and I went ahead and put this up in my bag so we could get off, I had like 6 rows left. So I finished those this evening. I put it on my head, and it was so tight. Super tight on my head, especially like with my glasses. I think I had my earbuds in, but even like if I took my glasses off, I could feel it squeezing my head, and I was like, he's gonna hate this. But I dampened it and just stretched it out a bit, and now it's perfect. It's actually, it feels loose to me, but I think he doesn't mind it kind of loose. So here, I will. It's still a little damp. I gotta hang it up. I was hoping that he could wear it tomorrow or tonight when he gets up, but probably not, because it's still a little damp. But it, like, the temperature dropped. We're in Philly, and even like on, I want to say Friday or Saturday, I think Saturday morning, the temperature dropped a lot. And then we're talking to my mother-in-law back home, and she's like, it's so cold here. It was like 40. And I was like, she must mean like the overnight temperature. But then I talked to like our Uber driver and my son's behavioral therapist, and they're both like, no, it was really cold this weekend. So it was probably colder in Atlanta than it was in Philadelphia. Okay, here's one side. Nice and snug. Now I'm putting it back on. It's perfect. One side, and then here's the other. So yeah, I'm not worried about it being too tight. So you guys can see that. Oh yeah. So I am going to hang this back up and let it dry some more, and it'll be great tomorrow. Now it has that really woolly smell to it, which it didn't have before I wet it, but oh well. That's what happens when you work with wool. So I took that one. The other one I took is, I don't think I showed you this, but I think I mentioned it. It's a shawl that I told you I wanted to make like an autumnal colored shawl, like a fall colored shawl. And so I use, this is what I have left so far. I'm not done yet. I'm probably not even halfway done. This is Mandala, the bonus bundle in the color Centaur. Right here, let me see. Hope you guys can see that. And I started this probably like a day or two before I left, but I didn't get very far. And then I really worked on this on the plane on the way up a lot, and I worked on it kind of like when we were winding down at night. I didn't pull the hat back out until like we were probably halfway through vacation, because I knew I was close to the point where I needed to start decreasing. So I didn't want to work it on the plane, because I didn't want to have to measure every few minutes to make sure I didn't go too long. And I just didn't pull it back out. Then I just got on a roll with this one. But anyway, this, I'm showing you the wrong side, is the Peekaboo Shells shawl. It is a bag of day shawl. It's a relatively recent one. I really like it. I was not thrilled actually to be using this colorway, because when I was at the store, there was another one that had a lot of fall colors, but I felt like they were a little more vibrant than that one, but they only had, I could only find one cake of it. And I wanted to get 2 cakes just in case I needed some more. So I settled for this one, which has very similar colors, but I felt they were a lot duller. But now that we're working them up, I don't mind. When it was just like this gray and this lighter gray, I was like, oh, this is boring. It's so dull. But then once we got here into these lighter colors, especially like this mustard here, it's hard to tell. Like the color shift is so subtle, but like from, let me see, where's a good place to show it? Oh, I'm dropping it. Like, yeah, here, this, and this up here are actually 3 different colors. Even like this and this one, the top and the bottom one look the same, but they're not. They're slightly different. And so like this like really like mustardy curry yellow, like, and this kind of bit of a gradient, like it just makes it like so much more visually interesting. So yeah, now I'm liking it more. At first I was like, oh, the colors are so boring, I don't want to wear this. Like, can you imagine? It's just so, I don't even know what I'd wear it with if it was just like this wool right here. But I like it. Now there's other colors, and then eventually we're gonna get into like this this red. And then I'm noticing too, which you couldn't see when the skein was like more caked up, like you can see like kind of similar thing, like this goes like this. You couldn't see this like lighter version, I guess this transition between like the mauve and the red, whatever this red is called. Like you couldn't really see it when it was all caked up really like tight, but now that we've loosened up, I can see that there's gonna be like a little more transition. And then for the brown, not so much. But anyway, and this is like how they show you the color. I don't think that's it though. That doesn't look accurate at all. Like the gray is not in there. None of the grays are in there. So anyway, those are the two things I worked on. And that was my whole vacation project thing. The only other bit of, oh, I don't know if I showed you this. Did I show you guys this? Oh, stop it. I'm putting this down. I don't know if I showed you this. Maybe I did. Did I show you guys this hat? The kitty cat ears hat? This is a recent Bag O' Day, and it's also a recent, like, oh, this is so tight on me. Bod Hatapalooza hat. Oh. And this is like a bottom up. See, it's got like the cat ears when you put it on. It's very cute. It's like, this one is a bottom up beanie, which anytime I make those, they end up tight in the rim here. I think I can't remember if I put a couple extra stitches in, but it didn't help. It's very tight ear here. So I started, but this is with Red Hot Super Saver and Pink Camo. You see that? Which I think is just so cool, and I love the way it pulled and stuff, but I wanted to make a bigger one. Even though I don't think I'm going to keep this, it's probably going to go in my donation pile, but I went ahead and started a bigger one. Started here and just did a few more stitches. So we're going to have a couple of these. And that's such an easy, super, super quick thing. Like, I did that in a few minutes, like, I don't know, an hour or two. Maybe I did it like at work, I think. So I'll do the other one probably tomorrow. And then, see, but I don't remember if I showed you guys that the other day. All this putting on hats is messing up my hair, but I'm going to bed in a minute. So the only other thing I wanted to show you before I show you guys this yarn is just progress on my son's blanket, just because it's been a while. I actually don't have a ton of progress. So if you look at my little stitch marker, if I can find it. Ooh, where are you? I always lose it. There it is. So that's where we're at now. So it's only like, I don't know how many ever rows that is, but that's where it is. I am on like the 4th block of colors. For this 3rd one that I just finished, I went over. Like, I just was not paying attention, and I went over by like 2 or 3 rows, like 2 or 3 like repeats of the gray and the blue, maybe like 2. And it's too much to take it back. I'm like, I don't think anyone's gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. It's still relatively square. So this is it. You can see the design. You can see the, I hope, I can't see what you can see, but I hope you can see like the checkerboard effect that it creates. So I'm gonna do, so this is the 4th, this one that we're currently on. You can't really tell that I changed it yet until we get a little deeper in, but that's like the 4th block, the 4th row, I guess. And I'm probably gonna do either 5 or 6. And I just started a new ball of this. So this will be the 3rd, really 2.5, like the 3rd ball of this, but the first ball was like half done or half used, not even half, but it was already, like, it had already been started. So let's just call it between like 2.5, 2 3/4 balls of the gray. And I think I'm 2, and that's a Craft Smart in just gray. This is Craft Smart in gray. This is Red Heart Super Saver in, I want to say navy or deep navy, something like that. I think this is the 2nd of these. Anyway, so I just want to show you guys that just because it's been a while. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move it up now so that I dropped you. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I dropped you guys, and you're still recording though. Hold on 1 second. Oh my gosh. Don't bother, I'm gonna unplug. It's because the cable was plugged in the charger, and then when I was moving this blanket around, I pulled it down. So I apologize for that. Hope no one got seasick. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's that. Oh, and I'll show you one more thing. This will take a second. These, I'm not ready to use them yet, but these are the pinks and the grays. I don't know if I'm gonna use this gray, but it's in there for now. These are the pinks and the grays that I'm gonna use for my pink blanket. They're all Big Twist Value. You see, like, it's all those very, like, Victorian pinks, like, nothing bright. I do have a couple brighter ones. I don't think I'll need them, and I don't think I'll use them. I want to stick with, like, these more, or I guess, less saturated pinks, very, like, antique-looking pinks for this. All right, so this is here. I'm not ready to start it yet, though I have a very good idea of what I'm gonna do. I'm just like haven't started it yet. So there is that. All right, so what I bought was Hershner's had a big sale last week, and I stumbled on someone's page where I never go. It's anytime I do this, whenever I go on someone's page that I rarely go on, like they're like, oh, sale, this is sale, this code, this. So I want to say I was on Creative Grandma's, one of her videos. I ended up on hers. It's not that I don't watch her, but I don't always watch like this is what Hershner's is doing this week, this is what Premiere is doing this week, just for this reason, because I'm gonna end up buying something. But I ended up going on hers, and then she mentioned, she does like a actual screen share of like, oh, this is the, clicks on the email, and these are the things that are for sale, and like right on top is the cotton millins, which I love. Even though I have bought them, this will be the third time buying them. I have used them 0 times, but oh well. I really was hoping, and I haven't looked at it yet. Hold on. Move this out of my way. This thing out of my way. I was very much hoping that I would get some duplicates of some of the stuff I got, some of the stuff I got like in the last couple, so that, because I know these balls are just a little bit smaller than they are retail, like so that I can make like a shawl or something and not be worried about running out or it being like too, not being enough. But anyway, so here's the start. This is 2 of the same. These are not the sparkle ones. Here, I'll try to take one out. This is like a very Easter color looking thing, right? Ooh, yeah, very much so. Like, look in there. You see these blues, like these like light blue into like a green into like a yellowish orange. Yeah, this is very much Easter. I got 2 of these, so ooh, something for Easter. But like a kid's thing, or like a blanket. Oh man, like an Easter blanket. Like an Easter baby blanket or something. I'm very sure somebody is gonna be expecting a baby. Someone I know around that time. So maybe like a Easter dress for a baby. Something like that. So that's double. That's good enough to do a whole lot with. I see some blues. But have I got this before? I don't think I've gotten this one before. Okay, this is like a lot of blues, and I'm not sure. This is like, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure in the bag if this was navy or black. I'm still not sure. Let me take my glasses off. I still can't tell. I guess it's black. I think it's black. So you have this gray into a light blue, into like a royal, and then a black. So I don't know how to do with that. That's cute though. It's pretty. And I think I have 2 of those. Oh man, the first time I did this, I got no repeats. And then last time I got some repeats and some not. Like, I think I got 3 or 4 or something. And this time, maybe I'm getting all repeats. Let's see. I got 5 of them, by the way. Ooh. I don't think I've had any of these before, though. Oh my gosh. Look at this one. That's pretty. Oh my goodness. That looks like a supernova I don't know, like looks like something in outer space, like, you know what I mean? Like when they make a rendition of, like, yeah, a star being born or something. It's like so, oh my gosh, so pretty. So yeah, it's very fiery orange out into a purple and then black. Ah, man, I got 2 of these. I wish I knew these color names. So, oh yeah, I think maybe they're all gonna be doubles. If they're all doubles, man, I got so many options. Because I know, even though I haven't used these yet, I know, well, at least the first thing I want to do. Ooh, these are great. I'm so glad I got these. Okay. I know what the first thing I want to do with them, which is also a bag of day shawl. I gotta find it. Hopefully I can find it again. I don't think I saved it. Okay. Very pretty. Which side is gonna give you guys the best view? So you got like a gold, like a pink, into a, what is this pinkish purple called? Like mauve? Is that mauve? I forget. Like a brighter pink and like a magenta. 2 of these as well. Oh, I'm so glad I got these. These are really great colors. The last batch I got, I was like, they're okay colors. And then it had like a lot of the shiny ones. This one I know I have this one. They're not the same though. These are 2 different ones. Okay, but I think I have both of them. Okay. These are both, I bet someone like wasn't paying attention and thought they were putting the same thing in, because there's this one. Maybe they are. Let me make sure. Yeah, they're definitely different. There's this one, which it's like yellows and greens and blues. Very pretty. Like it goes out to this royal blue. Starts to like this is like a deep yellow. Can you guys see that? And then this is blowing out a bit. Let me see if I hide my face. But it's like a green. It's not really yellow. It's like the green and yellow mixed. I think it goes in a solid green at some point, but yeah, very pretty. And this one is similar, but not exactly. I'm gonna show you this side. Did I get one of these? No, I didn't get anything like that. I feel like I had one or both of these. They're so similar, it's hard to say, but I'm pretty sure I got maybe even both of these. So this is blowing out a lot. Let me hide my face. Is that helping? Maybe. This is yellow. And then this is a, like a robin's egg, very pale blue, and then goes into deeper blues, to like this royal. So very pretty also. These are probably, I think I've had them before, or I think I have them, so that's good. I can add it to what I've already got for something bigger. But they're probably also my 2 least favorite, which is surprising because I love blue. But yeah, I don't know what's my favorite. I think one of these 2. It's gotta be my favorite. I'm not even sure which. I bet I could combine, oh man, if I wanted to make myself like just a really beautiful, vibrant blanket, like how, like combining this in some way, like how, ooh, how beautiful would that be? I got so many blankets though that I got in my head, like I do not need to be making myself anymore or planning myself anymore. I love them though. I love to have blankets around. My family likes to keep my house so cold that I have to have a blanket everywhere. So I don't feel too bad about it. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys and just say I'm still here. I'm back from vacation. I had a great time, by the way. I went to college in Philadelphia. Actually, Drexel. I got myself some brand new Drexel swag. I think this is actually supposed to be for my son. I got a couple of sweatshirts. This one's actually the bigger one. I think I bought it so that he can grow into it because he refuses to stop growing. But I was getting on the plane and I needed a clean hoodie and I just pulled one out. And this is the one. So I'll show him, I'll give him a couple options, and whichever one he wants, he can have it. Because the other one's like gray. I went to Drexel, so I've been promising to come back and visit for years. I mean, I have been back, but I haven't been back since before I had my son, and he's 12. So I still have a lot of friends and people out there that I keep in touch with. I'm always saying I'm gonna come visit, and just like, you know, life happens. So finally, my husband and I, we both have a lot of PTO, and we were just like, okay, let's just do it, you know. We'll go. We had taken the kids on vacation a few months ago, and so we just wanted to do something just me and him. So we went, and it was great. We left on Thursday. We got there like 1 o'clock Thursday. I had to remember how to like take the train back into the city, and then we ended up walking like 35 blocks to our hotel, because I had to reacclimate myself. At first I thought it wasn't, GPS said it wasn't that far a walk, and then GPS changed its mind halfway through, but we were already in too deep. But it was nice. We got to walk through the city, and I stayed in Old City, which is like all the way to the east near the Delaware River, Penn's Landing, if you've ever been down there. Actually, we stayed like right around the corner from like Independence Hall, Liberty Bell, like Benjamin Franklin's residence, like the ruins of it, at least, things like that, like the all the historic sites. And so that's actually stuff that when I lived in Philly, I never did. I think maybe once or twice, like I like came down that far, outside of like going across the bridge into like Jersey or something. Or I rarely ever came like all the way into Old City. So it was nice. We did all the touristy thing. I took him on Friday, I took him by Drexel. I showed him like where I used to go to school, where I used to work when I worked on campus, like my dorm, my, the house we used to live in, things like that. I did that. And then we came back to the hotel to rest up because we were going out to dinner with a couple of my old roommates. And took a little bit of a nap, and while he was still napping, I was like, I wonder if there's any garden stores nearby. And I Googled it, and there was supposedly one at Penn's Landing, which was only a couple blocks from our hotel. So I walked down there. I could not find it for the life of me. Like it looked like kind of like an artist collective with like a bunch of different vendors, I guess. Like there were people that did fabric arts and textile arts and different like acrylic arts, etc. And there was supposed to be a yarn shop. I couldn't find it, so I just walked home. And there was another one like less than a mile, like maybe 3/4 mile from our hotel, but I didn't have time to go looking for it. And then we went out to dinner with a couple of my old roommates. On Friday, Saturday, we did all the touristy stuff. We tried to go to Independence Hall, but apparently you have to buy tickets like way in advance. But we kind of walked around. We did go to the Museum of the American Revolution, which was awesome. I wish we had time to do some of the other museums. There's supposedly like a portrait gallery like in the site of like the second Bank of the US. That this guy that was in our hotel was like, we were eating breakfast next to him, was telling us about, and he was like, they're contemporary portraits like from the 17th and 18th century, which I think is like really cool. So I would have loved to have time to see that, but we didn't. And then my husband was like on the hunt for a really great cheesesteak. That's all he wanted to do was eat cheesesteaks every meal of the day and run up the Rocky Steps. So when we came that first day, we actually went out to this place around the corner, like a little hole in the wall, and we didn't like the cheesesteaks there. It was called like Famous J's or something, and I didn't want to be like, if they tell you that the cheesesteak is famous, then it's trash. And so the original cheesesteak places in Philly, like in the famous ones, is called Pat's and Gino's, which is like right there, like right across the street from each other. I don't remember which one was first, but then they split off, and it's a whole touristy track gimmick thing. So we went to Pat's and we didn't like the cheesesteaks there. So we literally crossed the street and went to Gino's and tried that. He didn't like that one. Then we got an Uber back to our hotel, and he was all like, I'm feeling car sick, I gotta lay down. I was like, well, yeah, you just ate 2 cheesesteaks back to back. So we rested up a bit, and then we went out to Upper Darby, which is where I used to go to church when I lived there, and visited with some friends I still had there. Sunday morning we went to my old church, which is great. I got to see so many people I haven't seen in a while, but we're like, still connected on like social media. So that, I'm like finally like meeting I'm like talking to their kids like I know them, because I know them, but they're like, who is this lady? And there's, it's the same. So I didn't get to take my kid up there, which was, I kind of wish I could have, because no one, like everyone knows him, but nobody's ever met him. And then after that, we went back to our hotel and met up with another one of my old roommates. She drove up from DC with her family, her husband and her son, who I know her husband, I never met her son. And her son and my son are like a month apart, and we were due 1 day apart. But she had her son like 6 weeks early, and I had my son like a week and a half early, so they're like exactly a month apart. but they've never met. And I met her son for the first time, and saw her husband, who I know, they got married in college. He was in the military and she was in school, so I've known him, even though she was my roommate, but I've also known him for 15, 16 years. Plus couple of our other friends. And then by then, my husband's social battery was out. He was sick of meeting my friends. But I was like, I had another friend of mine who we did a lot of grad school stuff. Like her and her husband, we met when they started grad school at Drexel, and I was doing like a BSMS program. So I was doing like bachelor's and master's classes at the same time. So we took a lot of classes together, and I met them like really early on. She just was like, we were at like a conference actually early on, like the start of the school year, and her and her husband were brand new. They were still engaged at the time, and they were sitting behind me at this like a research symposium kind of thing. And she was like, hey, you're in my class, right? I think you're in my class. And I was like, I guess. And she was like, yeah, I recognize you. And she's like, I'm Danny. This is my fiance Manny. And then we were just friends from there. Like we went and ate lunch together. They had just moved up they were from the South too. They're from Florida. And they both went to college at Tulane in New Orleans. So like we're the Southern people. And it was great. They became very good friends. And her and I were in the same major. Her husband was also an engineering major, but electrical engineering. I studied biomedical engineering, and we ended up working in the same lab for the same professor. And it was like a hot mess. And we would just sit at lab meetings next to each other, and like we had our lab notebooks, and then we'd just be like writing notes. And I still have, I hope I didn't get rid of it. I sent her a picture of it a couple years ago. I still have that lab notebook from when we did that. And then you have like the date, March 5th, 2003 or whatever, lab meeting, and then there may be one or two little notes about like what we actually talked about in the lab meeting. And then there was like a whole page of me and her like being like, this is ridiculous, what's going on? Like, because it was just, our lab was a hot mess. Our professor, we were talking about it, he had no bit, like he's brilliant, but he should not have been managing like grad students. So anyway, her and her husband were like, I wanted to do breakfast with them on Saturday or something, but they had a bunch of stuff going on. So she was like, well, we'll be here on Sunday. And I was like, okay, we'll try to work something out. So I left straight from lunch with my roommates, took my husband back to the hotel, or we walked back to the hotel, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go catch an Uber and go stay at my other friends. And he was just like not into it. So I went over there and hung out with them for like an hour. And met their daughters too. I met their oldest daughter when she was a baby, like 4 or 5 months old. They had come to Atlanta for a conference. And then their youngest daughter I've never met. And her mom was there. It was who I met at their wedding. It was actually their anniversary weekend. So I was like, oh, it's great. And so we talked, and that was great. And then I went back to the hotel and got my husband. We went back to Upper Darby, which is actually really Haverford, which is on the west side again, to meet with another friend I used to go to church with. She wanted to see me, and her husband, I hadn't seen him. I hadn't seen them in 13 years, and their kids I hadn't seen. They're young. Another one, like the youngest, his 14. I met him when he was like 6 months old, and the oldest was born when I was living here, but last time I saw him he was like 5 or 6, and he's like 18. And she's like, and then because I work for a movie studio, and I'm always like, she's a fan of the movies that we make, and so anytime I like get a tidbit, or I see somebody cool or whatever, I text her, and then she always tells her kids, and so they're like, oh, they think their Auntie Zuri is so cool, and I was like, oh man, I gotta make up some lies now to tell them, like, to impress them. So anyway, like, they wanted to see me, and they really wanted to meet my husband, and they stayed up late. They were like, you don't have to rush, just come whenever, but we really want to see you. So I dragged them over there, even though he probably really didn't want to go. And we stayed over there till like 11, and then we came back to the hotel. And so that was our whole trip. I didn't mean to give you a full recap, but it was good. The first couple of days was just me and my husband, but then by the time the weekend came around and everyone was off work, it was so busy, because like I had so many people I wanted to see. There's people that I still didn't get to see that I wanted to see. But I also kind of regret, like I wish we could have spent more time, because I also wanted to like do more of the stuff. Like we didn't get to go to the Rocky Steps, which is not far from Drexel's campus where I live. Like you can technically walk there, but it was a lot of walking already, but we did pass by it when we were heading out to Haverford, like on the highway, and I was like, showed him. But if you don't know, like in Rocky, the movie with Sylvester Stallone. It's a very famous scene where he's like running up these steps and he's tired, like it's a montage. And when he first starts training, he can't get up the steps, and then he finally runs all the way up the steps, and he's like, oh. That's the Rocky steps. That's the Philadelphia Art Museum, if you don't know. And it's there. It's real. There is an actual statue of Rocky like on the grounds of it, like kind of off to the side. Because if in the movie, I think that there's like a prop statue of him doing this or doing something. Or I don't remember what he's doing. But in the movie, there's that prop, that statue that they made for the movie, like they still have it. And so it's like at the museum, but it's not on the top of the steps. It's kind of like off to the side because they love Rocky up there. Like it's crazy. Like I'd be like, y'all know he's not real, right? Like he's just a character, but that's like their favorite son. They love them some Rocky. So it's very cliche for tourists to like go run. People actually do jog up those steps all the time, but it's very cliche for every tourist. Like I took some friends there when I was in college, and the husband was like running up the steps and doing the thing, and I was like, this is so embarrassing, please stop. So my husband was dead set on doing that, but we didn't make it over there. But yeah, that's my trip. Anyway, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go to bed now. But I will see you guys soon. I will have for you, now that this hat is done, I will have for you probably, I don't know what I'm gonna start next. I'm gonna try felting again, maybe this week, just so that I can give my oldest his hat if it comes out good. And what else am I gonna start? I don't know. Maybe I won't start anything. I'll just chill out for a while. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's going on. I hope you guys had a great week. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.